Afternoon, depends on where you are in the world. How are you? I see some people already online. It's good to see you. So it's already 5 o'clock here in Lagos, Nigeria, and oof, I'm excited. How's your week been? I'd like to hear from you. How's your week been? How has design been for you? How has UX design been for you? Or how has anything been for you generally? Did you do my assignments? If yes, how was it? If no, how was it? So I'd like to hear from you. How are you? How are you? How are you? I see you guys. I see you guys. I see Anna Paula on LinkedIn. I see James on YouTube. I see Adela on YouTube. I see Lillian. I see Olabode. I see you guys. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How are you? How have you been? How's your week been? Any challenges? Let's just small. I have a little time. Hi, Pikeka. By the way, have I been pronouncing your name right? I know you've been tuning into our sessions. Have I been pronouncing your name right? You said it was your week was or your assignment was Which of them was I'd like to hear from you. Okay. All right. It's good to see you guys. It's good to hear from you guys. While I hear from you, while I wait to hear from you, my own week was hectic. She says no. So no, I have not been pronouncing her name right. Ouch. Okay. Okay. I think I will just call you P. Assignment was okay. Okay. All right. Please tell us what means. P. Okay. So yeah, my week was hectic. A bit hectic. It was full. It just ran by me. And I don't know if I'm glad it's Friday, but well, it is what it is. But I'm happy to see you guys. So, um, so while I hear from you guys about your week, about UX design, about research and all that, let me just do a quick recap of last week and what we learned and what we're gonna do today. Okay, so last week was me introducing UX research to you. Why do we need to do UX research? What was the return on investment of even carrying out the UX research? How do you do it properly? What are the methodologies of UX research? All of that. So if you missed that one, when we are done with this session, it's on YouTube, so you can watch the replay. Go ahead and watch the replay. You learn a lot. I gave you guys assignments. I gave you guys assignments and so it's I saw your assignments. I actually read from you guys. I apologize if I do not respond to your email. I got quite a lot of emails and I'm glad I did. It means you guys are working. And I know I did not respond to some people's own, but I will surely respond to everybody's email, at least for now. Before it gets overwhelming, I will still respond to everybody's email. So thank you for working on your assignment. So what we're going to be doing today is to review. I'm going to be reviewing your assignment. So I'll pick some people's assignments, probably at random, and I'll just share it right here, share screen here, and then we'll go ahead to review it. We'll see what was good, we'll see what was not good. What I did was I glanced through some of the assignments, but I decided not to be too detailed about it so that when we're looking at it live, it will be kind of spontaneous, so to say. Hi to everyone. I see some people still saying hello to me. James says his week was okay. I'm currently working on a project. It's been challenging, but I'm making progress gradually. So it's been a cool week. That's good to hear. Okay. Oh, this is how to pronounce your name. Pronounce Prince, then add Car. Okay, so Prince Car. Oof. OMG. All right. Hi, Prince Car. Thank you. Okay. So I still like to hear about your assignment. I still like to hear about how was it challenging? Was it difficult? Were there some things you found out that you didn't learn in class? Were there some things you stumbled on? Did you have to do extra research? What did you have to do to get your assignment done? Was it difficult? Was it easy? I like to hear. I like to hear. So while I am still waiting to hear from you, let me get. I would like to share my screen of someone's assignment. Who should I pick? Who should I pick? Who should I pick? Da, 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 da. Okay. Whose one should I pick? Let me see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so let's. I have Ibukun's Ibukun Ayomide. I would want to look. Let's look at your own assignment. Interesting. Priska said I did extra research, even printed. I'd like to hear about that. I want to know what you mean. I'd like to hear about that. Okay, I'm about sharing my screen with you. I'm about sharing my screen with you guys. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so this is Ibukun's assignment, user research plan, usability study of a bulk ordering checkout flow for the nearest sports center. Ooh, wow, ooh, that is interesting. Okay, background. So I'll read a bit. I'd like to hear from you guys. If you would like to critique someone's assignment, go ahead and let's hear from you. I want to see. Let's hear what you think about the assignment, what you're going through. If there's something that you think, oh, this should have been a bit different, or want to ask questions, please feel free to ask questions as we go through each of them, because we might not have the chance to go through every one of the assignments. So you can learn a lot from someone else's own. I am a woman. It's good to see you from LinkedIn. Okay. So background, we are creating a new app to help people find the nearest sports arenas in their community and schedule a game as individual or a group bulk through a mobile app such that users can pre-order their sports sessions either as an individual or as a group, perhaps to play a football or basketball match together as a group from the comfort of their homes without having to visit the sports arena. Okay, I just realized I didn't actually give a recap of what the assignment was for those that didn't join last week. So the assignment was for you guys to create your research plan for your own pain points. You would have had couple of pain points in your own personal life, or maybe there's an app that you currently use or you stumbled on, and there's some things you'd like to see developed about it. So that could be a case study. So we're trying to build up a case study. So the first task is to create your UX plan, your UX research plan, actually. So that was what the assignment was. It was to pick a pain point, break it down, try to write what the problem is, try to break down the whole what you how you carry out your research basically. What's your game plan? That was the assignment. And I gave you guys two templates. I gave you guys two templates that you could use, or you could just find other ones online and make use of. Hi, Sofiat, I see you. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so first observation I have about this research plan title. The title says usability study. So I don't think that should be right, because usability study is something that you do for something that already exists. But reading the background, it looks like you want to create a new solution. So I don't think this title is accurate. You should probably just write what the problem is. Now, which leads me to the second thing I want to say. about this research plan. When you're writing your research plan, you should not write it from the point of view of solution. You should write it from the point of view of problem. What that means is that you're trying to research at this point in time, at this phase of this project that we're going through together, you're trying to research and validate or invalidate a particular problem. So there is a problem and you want to research it. So your solution, which you have in your mind, might be the solution in the end, or it might not be the solution in the end. So that means that you need to create a plan from the point of view of the problem you're trying to solve, not a new app, as is said here, not from the point of the app. So I think if I was going to reword this, I'll reword it something along the line of what exactly the problem is. So the problem here seems to be that people want to um, people want to be able to join games together community games, whether football or basketball match. They want to be able to join it, but they don't even know where these games might be happening in their community, or they don't know when it might be happening. So it would be great. Now that's where you can now say, okay, maybe you can touch on the solution in another sentence or in another paragraph. Okay, so this is an idea around the solution that you are thinking about, which is a mobile app that could be blah blah blah. But this research is meant to understand the frustrations of people when it comes to joining matches, when it comes to joining physical games. So even you might even say this research is to know if there are people that have this similar problem. Yeah, this research is to know how many people have this particular problem. So basically, I'm trying to say this should be from the point of view of the problem, not the solution. That is what your research plan. That's how your research plan should be worded. So those are my observations reading this first plan. I X roll, good to see you. I Duak, good to see you. Okay, so by the way, if you know someone, it's not too late for you to tag them to join the session. If you know someone that might benefit from that. Okay, so moving on, objective section. Listen, objectives. Business objective and KPI. She said we need to find out if the main user experience, finding the nearest sports arenas in their community and scheduling a game as individual or a group. So this is I'm kind of confused. I think it's not properly worded. Whether it's easy for users to complete. Okay, we'd also like to understand the specific challenges that users might face in the searching, scheduling, and reservation processes. Okay. Okay, so I think this second part might be more of it. This might be more of it. So I think this is not properly worded. So Ibukun, please take note. I'd like you to rework this and send it. Okay, so if you know that there are some of the things that I'm saying now applies to your own after you've done your own already, I believe everyone should have done theirs already. Or if you have not done yours, you have not completed it, you can learn from this and update yours as well. How long? Okay, KPIs. Okay, so I believe we all know what KPIs mean. KPIs mean, if possible, zoom in your screen. Okay, let me try to zoom in. Okay, that should be better. So KPIs mean key performance indicators. It's something. It's a word used across industries in the world, but in the sense of this, KPIs mean basically how would you know that your research is successful? How would you know that you've achieved this objective that you wrote down here? That's just the meaning of KPIs here. So she is saying our own KPIs would be how long it takes to schedule a game, how easy it is it to schedule a game? Okay, let's see. Okay. All right, let's see. Okay, so she said research methods. Our own research method would be interview. Okay, research scope and focus areas, research participant profiles. Okay. Okay, so I see that this research plan is not very complete. Let me see. So you didn't mention. Okay. Before I say that, so under these questions, research scope and focus areas should be general. It should be more of what are the general things like you want to find out. So this is your specific interview questions from what I'm seeing here, which is good. So this should be a separate section, interview question. So which this is good. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Where do you live? How do you find a sports arena near you? Do you have any sports arenas that you use often? How long have you been using sports arena? How often do you use the sports arena? Can you run me through the present scheduling process? What are the main challenges you have when scheduling to play at this sports arena? How efficient is their present ordering process? And you have a scale of 1 to 5. Okay, this is a good attempt. Thank you for this, Ibukum. Okay, so looking at these questions, I see you've made a couple of assumptions. First assumption that I think might be fatal is that you've assumed that the person you're talking to uh, play sports, right? So you've assumed that the person plays sports. How do you find a sports arena around near you? This is the first relevant question I'm seeing here, but this might not be an appropriate first question because for me, for instance, if you were researching me, if just me you were speaking to, and I'm looking at your research participant profiles, that is the profiles of the people you want to research. I'm seeing men and women between ages 14 to 60. By the way, a 14-year-old person is not a man or a woman. Okay, that's just by the way. And then I'm seeing entrepreneurs, working class, and students. Okay, so this is really, really broad. This is really, really broad. This is basically you saying everybody. This is everybody on planet Earth. You've not told us where these people would be. You've not told us how you'd find them. Those are the kind of things that should be here. How will you find them? Where would they be? How would you do your research? So now, what I was trying to say before I scroll down here is that if it was me that you were receiving this particular question, by the time you reach this point, I'll be like, what's that? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not really a sports fan, right? So I think maybe a first question that might you might gain a lot of insight would be, are you a sports fan? If yes, if the person says yes, so I know you don't stop at. I know I've told you guys that you don't stop at yes or no questions. You can follow up with something. So are you a sports fan? If yes, if I say yes, for instance, a follow up question could be, "Oh, tell me about you. What sports do you play, or what sports do you like?" Then you can ask, do you play football, for instance? Do you play basketball, for instance? Those might be some ways to lead your research to a relevant point, because the way you started now, you might not gain any insight from a number of people unless if you specifically point out people that you already know. If you already know some people that are sports fans, you just go to them directly and go and ask them questions. If that's the case, that's fine. But if you want to gain a lot of insight from people that you do not know, which is sometimes the best way to do research, people that don't know you, people you don't know, then this might not work. Okay. Other than that, I'll take this a good one. I think you might benefit from a screener, and I told you what a screener is last week. A screener is basically a set of questions or one question that that basically helps you to streamline the people that you talk to be sure that they are relevant. For instance, you could ask questions like, "Oh, are you a sports fan in the first place?" So anybody that says no to it, you know that you don't waste your time talking to them. So this are kind of questions, the kind of question that you can put on maybe your WhatsApp status or your LinkedIn page or your Instagram, basically to get interest. So anybody that comments or anybody that responds to it are the group of people that you know. Okay, these are people that can fit into my research. Yeah. So this is good. Thank you for this, Ipukun. Well done. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Who else? If you have any questions, please go ahead and just ask your question. I'd be glad to answer your questions. Um, let's see. Who do we look at next? Who do we look at next? Who do we look at next? Okay, let's see. Prince Car. Prince Car, let's look at yours. Prince Car, Prince Car, Prince Car, Prince Car. I'm trying to find yours. Prince Car. Okay, I can't see Prince Car's assignment, so let me quickly go to the next person. Let's see. I have Adepeju. Adepeju Boladale. Boladale. I hope I pronounced that right. Let's see. Whew, okay. Um, I'm trying to find your assignment though. Okay, I didn't see it. I can't see it yet. So let me see who else can I look at. Okay, I have one. Emily Andrew. Okay, so I have one here. Let me look at what we have. Research plan for Telegram, background. Okay, so um you need to compile your assignment. Okay, so there was so it seems Emily did not get get the assignment. So there was an email I sent that had your research plans. I'm sorry, templates. I mean research plan templates. So you're supposed to fill it just like the way we have looked at Ibukun Zone. So it's something that you need to compile. Okay, let me look at someone else's on Glory Unique. Okay, okay. Sent me an email that she has not sent down. Okay, wow. Let's see who else is. Oh, please, Priska, please send it again, forward it again. It might be lost in the whole lot of emails. Please forward it again so I can just look at the recent one. But in the meantime, let's look at Adeola Alades. Okay, Adeola Alades, we have someone's on here. Let me share my screen. Excuse me. I'm trying to share my screen. What's going on? Okay. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Prince Sky, I didn't do mine in that form. Please just send the email again so I can find, so I can see it easily. Okay, so this is Adele's own analytical study of the effect of media on collaboration and third-party payment system on Fiverr. Interesting. Okay. Background: Fiverr is a business solution designed for teams to connect freelancers with proven business experience with okay, that skill set with potential buyers that customers, that is buyers. However, despite the tremendous achievement of Fiverr connecting sellers with buying, okay, buyers over the years, there is some inch that impedes effective collaboration between clients and as well as multiple third-party payment systems adopted by Fiverr. Wow. Okay, thus, this research embarks on knowing the effect of media for effective collaboration between a client, audio call, video call, or screen sharing on Fiverr, and the use of multiple payment systems on Fiverr. Okay, so freelancers. Okay, so let me pause right here and say that this background is really wordy. It is very, very wordy. So yeah, it's very, very wordy. So a background for a research plan, it needs to be something that is high level, right? This is something that you probably want to share with project managers on a team while you're working in a team, like in a company, or you want to share with the client that is paying for the service. So it needs to be something that the person can quickly read through and get the point. So when you start seeing four full paragraphs, it becomes too much. You don't have more than maybe 6, 7 lines in total, in my own opinion, or maybe just two paragraphs, either way. So I for instance, now I've gotten a bit impatient, right? I now want to um, scan through. So what I do is, okay, so what you need to do under your background, like I said previously for Ibukuns, is that you need to summarize the problem itself. Go straight to the point. What is the problem? And the problem of this particular project seems to be the fact that people, you've made an assumption that people, clients would like collaboration, media collaboration, that is like say phone, video calls and WhatsApp calls or whatever. um Meanwhile, Fiverr just has blah blah blah. So what you should be stating in under your background is that Fiverr is, yes, this is a good one. This line is awesome, but you don't need all this. However, despite the tremendous, all this is not necessary. All of this is not necessary. Tell us straight to the point what Fiverr is for somebody that doesn't know what Fiverr is, because this is something that you would actually share with with a potential employer. You will put this in your portfolio. So this is something that you just need to be straight to the point. So this first line is fine. Then subsequently, you could say somewhere here you could just go straight to the point. If Fiverr has this, tell us what Fiverr has right now, right? This is what Fiverr has right now. Then this is what you think. This is where you think it should go. Your research is going to find out blah 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 and blah. Um that's what your background should look like. So it's about a problem and maybe a potential solution. Okay, aims and objective. The research makes collaboration. This research makes collaboration seamless for clients on Fiverr to discover possible ways of bridging or reducing third party from withdrawal for Fiverr users. So this is not clear. This first one, this research makes collaboration seamless for clients of Fiverr. I'm not sure that's not very clear. To discover possible ways of bridging or reducing third party from withdrawal for, okay, so this is also not clear. You need to be as clear as possible. You have to word things straight to the point. Research method. This research shall adopt an analytic tool for research. Nope, I didn't teach anyone analytic tool. I don't know what you mean by analytic tool. Here you're supposed to be specific. Are you going to be conducting interviews? Are you going to be doing surveys? Are you going to be doing focus groups? Is this going to be contextual inquiry? If you are not clear on these things, go back to go and watch the video last week's session, watch the session, and then go back and do this assignment again, Adela. This is incomplete. Also, I sent an email, I think last weekend, I sent an email that had two videos in it, and I expected you guys to watch it. Those videos are really, really good that will have helped you, that will actually help you to format, to help you create your research plan nicely, and also help you when it is time to carry out your research. Okay, thank you, Priska. I have seen it. Review next. So this is please do this again. Do this again, Della. Okay, let's see. Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Priska. Let us see. Okay. Create research plan for a chosen problem. Okay, this is good. So let us share the screen. Please go ahead and ask your questions if you have questions. Um, okay, so this is Prince's submission. So, Prinska, you need to do this again. Not necessarily the whole thing as at this stage. I've not gone through it properly, but you need to put it in a document format. Okay, so I am working. This is giving me some eye. It's actually affecting my eye right now. The red background. So I'll just try to put this on another document so I can get rid of the red highlights. None is what I wanted to do. Okay, I'm working on GD app. Okay. So you need to have a title. That's the first thing I would say. You need to have a title. What is the title of the problem? The problem you are trying to solve. So you can say uh, research into, I don't know, depends on what you're trying to solve. So let me go through it first. Maybe I'll come up with the title, a better title. Okay, so background in 2020, in 2014, Gigi was set up. Uh, let's see. Gigi was set up. It's an African online marketplace that provides buyers and sellers with the avenue to meet and exchange goods and services. The current situation that prompts this research is the lack of removing sold products, which can breed a lot of scammers to the app, which is bad news for the business. The final aim is to get rid of fake sellers and contact of some non-sellers that people just create accounts and put their contact them. It's funny, but a lady told me about this, that they put the numbers of people that they don't like with an item, at a cheap rate so their phones get busy with different colors. Wow. That's some real spam there. Wow. Interesting. Okay, so my first thought is that this is nice. I like how straight to the point I mean, how straight to the point the problem is. However, Priska, you've not put this together as a as something that you could submit to say the COO or the CEO of a company or say your manager at work for them to understand what exactly you're trying to solve. What I mean is, so this is irrelevant. When Gigi was set up, it's irrelevant. You can tell us what Gigi is, which is great for those that are not familiar with it, which is good. The current situation that prompts this research, this is awesome, actually. I like how you're giving us a background of what prompted this research. So this is good. So for other people, what could have prompted your research could have been a personal experience. So you could actually write it. This what prompts this research is from personal experience that blah blah blah. You can tell us what the personal experience is. So this is good. I also like how there's a story here, so what you could do is you can format this in a form of a quote, right? A direct quote that the person could have said. So that's something that you can do. Have like a direct quote is not bad. So you can say, someone said, a lady said this, and you just quote it and say what the person said. So it's also nice the way you've written that the final aim, what your end goal is. So I just think you need to put this better together, remove some excesses, then also try to be more like straight to the point. So this is good. Objectives and goals: removal of sold items, identify non-sellers and remove their account, identify and get rid of fake sellers, resolve issues of pop-up notification that doesn't show, resolve filter issues. So this is not okay. The objectives and goal is not necessarily it's not necessarily supposed to be features. You're not supposed to be listing features here. You're supposed to be saying what are the objectives of your research. Objective of your research. What do you want to find out? That is what you need to put here. Research is finding out. Research is getting knowledge. So what knowledge do you want to get? What assumptions are you having right now? Are you assuming that there are actually spammers or scammers out there? Are you assuming that this is a real problem? Whatever it is, that those are things that you're supposed to list here, not the actual things that you want to like, not the features like you've listed them here. Stakeholders and team. Okay. Interesting. Okay, stakeholders and team. I don't know, what does stakeholders and team mean? Stakeholders and team. Okay, I'm not sure of what stakeholders and team mean, but it seems you have listed people that you want to research, that you want to talk to, which is oh guys, nobody told me I wasn't sharing this screen. Just realized I'm not sharing my Google Doc. Okay, let me try to share that again. Is it Google Doc I intended to share? Okay, so basically, so this is where I am. I'm saying that I'm looking at stakeholders and team. I'm thinking this is meant to be specific. It's meant to be like specific stakeholders, I guess. So maybe specific people want to research. It's not bad that you already know the people you want to talk to. However, I think that should be under participant recruit. So I'm not sure of what you mean by this anyway. Existing research, none, okay. But actually, this is inaccurate. You actually have done some sort of research. The lady that told you something, that's existing research. This right here would be a great place to tell that story. Maybe you could remove it from the background section and actually put it here. So you have you have already have some existing research. This guy, I talked to a few staff at Gigi. Okay, you've already started your research. Wow, that's awesome. So that's actually existing research. So if that's research that you've done before you are going ahead to you're going ahead to do your proper research. So okay, audience and participant recruit. This consists of occupation, age group, location and level of engagement with the product, teacher 24 Abuja. Wow. Okay, so okay, it seems as if you've gone ahead, you've done your research to do your research before you created your research plan. So that shouldn't be. Your research plan is something you create before you go ahead to do your research, right? Your research plan is a plan that is which is going to tell you what's the problem I'm trying to solve. What are my objectives? How will I know my research is successful? What are the kind of people I want to talk to? Where would I find them? Um, that's what a research plan should be, not what you do after you've done your research. What you put together after you've done your research is called research reports, and we've not gotten to that yet. That would be in subsequent session. Okay, metrics. Okay, so I will just on this because it looks like this is something that has been done. And I like how you documented all this. These are things that should go into your reports, not your actual, not a research plan. Then your research questions are not enough. I don't think two questions will solve this problem, will actually help you to find out this problem. So you need to break down your actual questions that you're going to ask. What kind of research do you want to do? Or did you, well, I know you've done it already, but now for the sake of this assignment, please create a research plan. I'll be expecting, I'm expecting to see that. Okay, so I have let me see. I think there's a question somewhere here that I might have missed. Uh, okay, excuse me. Okay, so let me see before I take any questions that are outside of this research plan assignment. Let me see if there is one more I can quickly go through before. Okay, so please feel free to send in your questions. Feel free to send questions. Just give me time to take a lot of questions. If you're having some doubts, please go ahead and send it. So let me see. Okay, I have three more assignments here. Wow. Okay, I will just take one. Let me take a guys on. I'm assuming that Yaha, Yaha should be. I assume that's a guy. Oh, okay. So this is assignment for previous session. This is not assignment for last week. This is not research plan, but it seems to be choosing a bank app, fintech. Okay, so that's good. So I'm expecting to see your research plan. Let me see a research plan. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see Chidima's on then. Chidi Maz. Oh, she answered my question of difference between users and customers. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. A user, she says, a user, I actually told you guys to find that out last week. A user is a person making use of a product, while a customer is the one purchasing the product, or the one giving the job to people building the product for the users to make use of. Oof. In building a software, a user is the one making use of whatever product that has been designed, while a customer is a stakeholder that owns the product. Okay, so I think you were off to a good start, Chidima, with that question, the difference between user and customers. But I think somewhere along the line you mixed it up. So a user is basically, yes, someone that uses the product. This is the person in whose hand the product gets to and actually makes use of it. However, a customer is the person that makes payments for that product. So it means that a user might not be the customer and a customer might not be the user. Huh. So what that means is, let me give an example. So let me see. So Google, Google's one of Google's products is, okay. Let me not use Google. Scrap Slack. I'm hoping a number of people know what Slack is. Slack is a productivity tool that is like, it's a messaging tool. It's basically like maybe, I don't know, WhatsApp or Telegram or whatever, but more on a different level, but specific to work environment. So Slack. If you're going to be getting a job in the field, Slack is one of the tools that you must know how to use, which is simple, by the way. Now, Slack is a tool that is something we is a type of software tool that we call SaaS, SaaS. If I mention something you're not familiar with, you can ask me a question, and if I have the time, I can answer something like that, or you could Google it. So, SaaS means software as a service. Software as a service is a type of software product that people subscribe to. That means a company, for instance, a big company could buy or subscribe to Slack basically, make payments for Slack, and then go ahead to make it available for their staff to make use of it, all their staff to make use of it, right? Similar to that is Canva. Canva is a designing tool, canva.com. There's the free plan, but there's also the paid plan. The paid plan is something that people pay for and then people can make use of. Now back to the Slack thing. So Canva is also a SaaS, is what I'm trying to say. Now back to the Slack example. Slack is something that the head of a team or the organization as a whole could pay for, could buy, to subscribe to for the whole company. Meanwhile, the person that actually bought it might not be someone that is using it, right? So the company is the customer because the company is a corporate customer. So the company is the one that paid for it. So meanwhile, the users are the staff. So it's possible that the users are not the customer because the user is not the one that paid for it in this sense. The employees are not the one that are paying for Slack or any of our tools, maybe Gmail or whatever. It's the company that paid for it. So that's the difference between user and customer. Now, why is it necessary for you to know the difference? When you want to create a product, when you want to design something as a UX design, you need to be clear on who the customer is and you need to be clear on who the user is. You need to create a good experience for the customer and a good experience for the user. A good experience for the customer because they are making the payment and whatever flow that is more from marketing point of view anyway for the customer. If the customer is not the user, if the customer in the end is not going to use the platform, then that means it's more from marketing point of view. So the experience for that customer needs to be seamless because they are paying the box. Meanwhile, the user might be your target because they're the ones that are going to actually make use of the platform. So go ahead and you if you go ahead and you create a wonderful experience for like say the corporate, like as if you are creating for a corporate person. I mean, let me still using Slack as the example. The people that design Slack, you they design it like as if they're creating it for some giant company because they say they're the ones that are paying the money. They might be making a mistake because Slack is made for a regular person. Like in the end, it's the employee that is going to use it. So that's why it's relevant for you to know clearly who your user will be. And another example of that could be like, say, when you want to design a game, for instance, designing a children's game. The person that's going to pay for that game is the parent, right? So the parent is your customer. Meanwhile, the person that is actually using it is the child. So you need to put both people into account. I think I have explained that. If you have any question on that, please let me know. Okay, Sophia, please review my assignment. I need to know if I'm on track. Okay. Oof, I don't know if we'll have the time for that, but let's see. So let's quickly look at Chidiman's. Okay. An event management application. Let me share my screen. Okay. Okay. An event management application background. Event management comes with lots of organization, like looking out for vendors to provide services in order to make the event a success. There are different vendors that contribute to the success of any event. They include caterers, photographers, cake bakers, videographers, disc jockeys, blah blah blah. Okay, an event planner would need all these services for the success of whatever event is being planned. An online platform can be created to connect an event planner to the services of these vendors. The vendors would advertise their services on the platform, their pricing, terms and conditions. Then any event planner in need of their services would contact them for the job. Okay, so first observation is like I've said, you need to title it from the point of view of the problem you're trying to solve. The problem you're trying to, so what's the problem you're trying to solve? The lack of organization, like the hectic process. So you could say reducing or automating. You can say automating the rowdy or hectic process of event management. So you have mentioned what the problem is, which is the rowdiness or the hectic style of event management. Instead of just saying an event management application, that's not even a good title for a research plan. You need to be specific. And secondly, the background should be written more like paragraphs instead of points like this. So I think we're off to a good start as to how event management comes with a lot of organization. But you have actually not you did not you didn't let it feel like painful. Like you just told us, oh, there are so many people involved. Okay, and so you've not told us um how it is hectic. Like I've used the word hectic. There's certain words you need to let people you have to use to let people understand what's the motivation for this research. Why is it even important to do this research? look look at your research plan like a proposal, right? Look at it as a proposal to say, the person that wants to make payments, that wants to pay for research. Why do I need to do research? Look at it as if you're trying to create a proposal for someone that is skeptic about budgeting for research. Because by the way, research is something that usually needs budget, because you might need a place, you might need to rent a space to do your research, you might need to give food to the people you want to do research with, you might need, so there are things that you might need to make payments for. So look at it from that angle. Okay, objectives to link event planners with potential vendors, safe planners. Okay, so this right here is not right. You are not writing objectives, you're not writing features. You should be, what is the objective of your research? What do you want to find out? You want to understand the pain points of event planners. You want to understand, you want to find out the specific frustrations that these people are having. I'm already mentioned some of these things. So those are the kind of things you need to write. It is from the, again, I'm saying this from the point of view of problem, not solution. Your research plan is more about problem at this point. Problem. Success card criteria. Different vendors and services they offer, pricing terms and conditions for their services, details about the event planner. Okay, so these are not really success criteria. Success criteria is related to your objectives, like KPIs. Like basically, how would you know your research is successful in the end? That is what success criteria means. How would I know my research is successful in the end? It means I would have found out certain things, blah, blah, blah. So if you guys need to do some more research on this, please go ahead and do some more research. I told you guys that I was only sending a template as a guide, but you should do research. Everything I'm doing with these whole sessions is just to give you as much information as possible, but you still need to do your own research. You still need to read up on external resources and things like that. So, research methods, okay. Second, research. Will you really do all this research? Okay, document review. By the way, would you really need a document review? I'm not sure. So if you're writing things like this, you might need to write in front of it. You see, now I wrote, there's this here saying include one or two sentences explaining what the method is and its purpose if your stakeholders are not familiar. So you might write it in a form of view of why do you need to do document review for this particular project? Like document review is you saying that there are maybe articles online, and you need to research articles, you need to research documents on this. Is that really necessary? Empathy map a research method? I'm not sure of that. Analytics review. Okay, what analytics review? You might need to explain what you mean. Competitive analysis. Okay, that means probably you're trying to say there are some other apps. So you might need to state that here. Okay, so this and this and this are other apps that we need to, or other solution, might not be apps, other solutions to this problem. That's the meaning of competitive analysis. That is, you are analyzing competitors. That's the meaning of competitive analysis. Primary research, event planner interviews. Okay, so interviews, that's basically interviews, vendor interviews. So that's still interviews. Just write interviews. Then under you should have a section, something like participant profile. That's where you specify. But interview is interview. You can just say interviews here. Contextual inquiry. Contextual inquiry basically is interview, like I explained to you last week, interview that you do in a physical context, like in a physical environment where that problem is being faced, or where people are actually going to possibly use the solution in the end. So does it mean you're going to, so whatever it is, you might need to explain it here so that we can understand the relevance of this research method to your research. So it doesn't mean you're going to physically go to where, like an event, like where event is actually going on to understudy this, but would that actually serve you? Because I thought the real issue is the planning of the event, not the event itself. Or is it the event itself? Whatever it is, you might need to explain what you mean. Usability test, I doubt you're going to be doing usability test. Usability test is something you do to probably test something that already exists. Okay, okay. Good. Let's see. Okay, we have research scope and focus areas, questions for the event plan. Okay, so you have some specific questions here. Would you love an online platform where you get different vendors to provide different services for an event? Ha! Remember last week I told you guys there's something we call leading questions. Questions that leading. This is a leading question. This is a very, very leading question. Oh my God. Right here, there's nobody that would say no to this question. So that's going to give you useless data, like I said to you guys last week. When you ask an event planner, would you love an online platform where you can get different vendors to provide different services for an event, or would you love to get your vendors manually? Pick one and give reasons for your answer. No, 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 no. This is not a good way to ask to ask question. So first, like I said, this is leading, but then this is a complex question. This is you multiple questions in one. So that's another thing you don't do. You don't ask multiple questions in one. You ask simple, straight to the point question. So this right here, would you love an online platform? Of course, they want an online platform. Everybody now wants something online. You say, would you love your to get your vendors manually? What do you mean by manually? That's not clear. It means you have to explain. Remember that I'm assuming that this is an interview, means you are talking to somebody one on one. Not that you send question and then the person sends the answer. No. So if you say pick one and give reasons for your answer, mba, no, nope. Um, are there challenges you think you might face in getting vendors online? Yes or no? If yes, give a reason for your answer. Okay, so again, this if yes, give a reason. No, you need to ask this question in a, this is more like a script, right? So you need to ask it in a more conversational manner. More details. Okay, so basically the same thing I've said. You need to rework these questions. Chidinma. Design focus component. I don't think this is necessary, but okay. At this point, I don't think this is necessary. We're not yet designing. So this also is necessary. Primary user scenarios, and what scenarios will the problem become more painful? Okay. And what are the most common? This is not you did. I don't think. Okay, it could probably be when a vendor doesn't offer the services advertised on. Okay, so this is not clear. Yeah, I think you need to. So I like how this started. You just need to reword a couple of things, like your questions. You need to explain, choose the particular type of research that you want to do, maybe one or two, and then tell us why that is relevant. This applies to everybody again. Research participant for this is really good. So this means that you're going to research five event planners and five vendors. So, but you didn't tell us whether this is going to be interview, whatever it is going to be. Are you going to bring different event planners into a room? That's a focus group. Okay. Okay. So thank you very much, guys, for your submission. I think I still have a few more assignments, but unfortunately, we'll not have the chance. Yeah, I'm just seeing it now. I think there's still three more. But I'm sure everyone has learned from this actually. So for those that didn't put the assignment in document, please put the assignment in document and resend it. I'll make sure to respond. I saw your assignment, Sophia. Unfortunately, there's no time for me to look at it. I saw yours as well, Blessing, and I think one or two other people. Lillian. Yeah, I saw you guys' assignment. Unfortunately, we can't review everything right now. Okay, so let me see questions that have been dropped here and see. Okay. This is from Vent Mathur on LinkedIn. He says, "I'm great representative insights, man. Oh, thank you. Is Dex research the same as contextual? Very confusing. Nope, they're not the same. So Mathur is referring to okay, so there is Dex research, which is a type of research method as well, and then there's contextual inquiry. That's the complete name, contextual inquiry. Dex research is similar to document review that I was looking at in, I think in Chidima's submission, which is something that you do from like a desk, like from the house, from the office. Desk research is basically something, yeah, it is a qualitative research method. It is one that will give you a lot of valuable data depending on the kind of problem you're researching into. So if you're doing a research for, say, I don't know, something along the line of maybe something medical, for instance, or scientific, there are probably a lot of research already online. So you can do a Dex research. Um, it is usually a secondary research. It's something that people do secondary because it doesn't give first-hand information. It gives you second-hand information. Meanwhile, contextual inquiry on its own is about, like I explained, doing the research in the physical context of the problem that people are experiencing or in the physical environment where that solution might be used. That's the meaning of contextual inquiry. That's the meaning context. That's the meaning of that. Um, so the major difference between the two of them is the fact that Dex research does not give you context of use at all. Does not give you it will help you to understand the users, their goals and stuff like that, but not in the context of the user's environment. I hope I've answered that. Let's see. Please what mean of KPI, KPI key performance indicator. Thank you, Sophia, for telling that. If you need more information on that, just Google it to tell you more about that. Sheguni Adebayo. Empathy map isn't a research process. Nope, it's not. It's not a research. Okay, so it's not a research method, is what I said. It's not a research method. It's not a way for you to get data from people. Research method is how you get data from people. Empathy map is not. Empathy map is a way of analyzing the data after you've gotten it. So empathy map, empathy map is an analysis, is a style, is a method of analyzing data, not of getting data. Okay, so oh, today has been intense. It's almost an hour already. So if anybody has any other question, please go ahead, drop it right here. We're already at the end of today's session, UX Research Part 2, where we have reviewed people's assignment. Please, the assignment for today, I think almost everybody actually needs to slightly rework their what's it called, your research plan. So if you need to, please go ahead. I'll be expecting to hear from you. Then in addition to that, I'm expecting you guys actually start carrying out your research. So I told you guys last week that I want everybody to be carrying out qualitative research, not quantitative. I don't want anything like surveys, gathering numbers. At this point in time, we need to understand why. Why are people having this problem? What exactly are their frustrations? Are people even having this problem, or is it just in my head? Right? You need to validate the problem. Like the person working on Gigi, you actually probably need to talk to other end users, not just staff. You need to talk to physical people, like regular people that might have gone to Gigi already. And are people having this problem where they are not able to find something they want to buy, or are people having problem where they've called the phone number they saw on that platform, and apparently it was a wrong number or something like that. So you need to start carrying out your research. So that's important. That's your assignment. That's a major assignment for today. Carry out your research. Now let me quickly say this. I'll send a video. I'll send a video on um tips on how to carry your research. I think I actually already did. I think that was the I'll check to be sure. If I haven't sent it, I'll send it. Even if I've sent it before, I'll send it again and make some emphasis on it. Because you need to carry out your research. And So there are some tips to how you carry your research. The first thing is, like I've said, try in short, try to be calm, right? I usually tell my students that people are just people. Talk to somebody else the way you would like to be approached. That's one key. That's something I've learned and I always make use of when I'm doing research, right? I do a lot of research where I sometimes go physically, and I talk to people like one on one. So if that might be the scariest part of research, where you have to walk up to a stranger in the hopes of getting data from them. But just talk to people the way you like to be talked to. That's just it. And I think it would be good practice for you guys to talk to complete strangers, not your spouse or your friends or your siblings or your parents. So try to talk to strangers. So because that's actually what you'll be doing in real life. Okay. So try to make that, let just be natural. Secondly, try to understand this some level of psychology. Try to just watch body language, right? Which is why I preferred kind of research where I can see the person, whether face to face or a some form of video and conversation. So if that's not possible, you can do audio. Which leads me to my third point. You need evidence that you actually did your research. So if you're doing a physical everyday research, like talking to somebody face to face, depending on the kind of research, you might need to take pictures. Like if you're doing a research that has to do with packing conditions, like maybe trying to understand packing conditions in big supermarkets, or in maybe on days where churches are going to, a lot of churches are in session, and then there's a lot of parking issues or whatever it is. You might need to take pictures, or maybe you're trying to solve the problem of traffic in Lagos, Nigeria. Someone please solve that problem. You might need to take pictures. So evidence. Take pictures, or record the session is important. You must. And the reason why this is important is because the next phase of research, which is analyzing the data, you would need to play back and remember, what's it called, things that you've done during your things that the data you gathered basically, and um, you need the data you've gathered. So you need to record the session. Before you record the session, you probably might need to get permission from the person you're trying to record. So let's see what else. Take notes as much as possible. If you can, take notes, which means like actually take notes. If you can't, that's where your recording comes into play, and that's perfect. You don't necessarily need to take notes. But you can take notes if you can. So those are some tips for that. So I'm expecting you guys to actually start carrying your research. What your research means is that based on your research plan, but let me sign off on your research plan. It would be great if I sign off on your research plan before you start your research. So please go ahead, make sure you guys sign off on your research plan before you go ahead. Um, if you can. If not, you can go ahead and start your research. So, okay, there's a question here. What KPIs um do you use or look for to know the success of a product research? It depends on the research kind of research that you're doing. How do you know a research is successful? For okay, let me think of an example. So let's say you're trying to research. Let's see. I'm thinking of. Let me check somebody. Mm, let me see. Give me a moment. I want to see someone's. Let me see what example. Okay. Okay, so let me not pick up anyone's particular project, but basically it depends on the kind of research you are doing. So let's say not this type of research we are doing right now, but let me say you are doing usability research where you're trying to check out the functionality and the ease of use and all those kind of things of a particular project or of a particular app, for instance, maybe some designs that you've done a few screens of designs and you want to quickly test it, then maybe a KPI could be how quickly are they able to do it. So you could probably measure how many seconds or how many minutes it takes them to perform a particular task, or how satisfied were the customers when they use a particular application. So um a KPI that could be relevant for any one of these projects that you guys are working on at this phase could be, let's say you're doing, maybe you want to do a competitors analysis. Maybe you're working on something that probably some people are solving it in different ways. A KPI could be how well, how many people do you know out of the people you spoke to? How many people know this competitor? So that could be a KPI. How many people are satisfied with that particular platform's delivery? Maybe Gigi, for instance, for a person working on that. How many people complete their task there? So it depends. It depends on the project. Different type of KPIs could apply. Let me note down the things that I'm going to send to you guys. This might be a good thing for me to send. So KPIs for research. So I think I'll send something on that. And then there was a second thing I said I would send. I didn't note it down. Please, someone should remind me of the other thing I said that I would send. Please remind me. It has skipped my mind. I didn't note it down. Okay. Ibukun says, to buttress on the question, how do I know that I'm on the right track during research process? You're on the right track if you created your research plan, which is why your research plan is the most important thing. Like at the before you start doing your research plan, if you before you start doing your research, I mean, if your research plan is off, your research is most likely going to be off. How do you know you're on the right track? In the first place, make sure make sure you do your research plan. Take your time and do it. That's the very first stage and the most important stage. Make sure you clearly know the problem you're trying to solve. Even if you don't know the problem very clearly, like document where you are. Like try to document your assumptions. Be clear on the kind of people you need to talk to, at least at that beginning phase. Know where you need to find them. Don't go and be talking to parents when you not need to be talking to children. Don't go and be talking to ladies when you need to be talking to guys. Like that's those are some things. Don't go and be talking to younger aged people when you need to be talking to older people. James, I think you made mention of sending a video. Please, I cannot remember the video. This is a true test of how many people are attentive. I need somebody to tell me specifically what I said I will send. Okay, so how do you know you're on track? You know you're on track um if I'm not sure of what you mean by on track per se, but I think I might have answered that question already. Just use your research plan like a script, so to say, or let me say as a guideline. So maybe if you can clearly explain that, or if I'm not able to answer any question, if there's something that comes to you guys' mind after the session, you can go ahead send me an email, and I'll try to respond to it. If I think it's something that everybody can benefit from, I might just bring it up. If you sent me an email and you think it's something very, very important that I need to respond to and I have not responded to it, please bump it up. Send the email again, note it again. Nobody's mentioning what I said I will send. If I remember, I'll send it afterwards. If not, okay. All right. Thank you very much, guys, for coming today. Session. Ibukun says, I think I'm okay. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for adding to this session. Next week, okay, yes, that's something I said I was going to say. Next week, we're going to be having a special session. It's not going to be like today's or last week's. We're going to be having a guest on show. I'm going to be having a guest. Yay! I'm actually excited about it. So I'm going to be having a guest. She is okay. I think it's yeah. She's a she. She is a she's a UX researcher. She's a UX researcher, and she's going to be talking to you guys. She's going to be talking to us about any question you have basically about research. Like she's one of the best when they want to mention one of the top UX researchers in, let me talk about in Nigeria we are in, that many of us, no, let me not generalize. I know I have a lot of international audience here. So for Nigeria here, she's one of the top, and so she's going to be here. She might not be here for the whole time, but she's going to be here for part of it. And I think it's going to be fun. So if you have questions relating to research, she's the person you should ask that. She's not going to be here for long. So please, our session is going to start like 5 on the dot, 5 p.m. West African time. next week on the dot because she can't be here for too long. Probably just 30-minute session with her. So if you have questions around how did she start, um, what does she do, what's her regular day like, whatever it is, please send me your questions ahead of time. Please send me your questions ahead of time. If you don't send your questions ahead of time, it might not make it to the list of questions or things you might be able to attend to in the period of time. So please think about it. Send your questions ahead of time. If there's something you'd like to request, go ahead and send it. And I think it's going to be a fun session. Ha! I can see someone I didn't expect to be here, Dr. Misha. Thank you very much for attending, Dr. Mersha. I'm very happy to see you, ma'am. Okay, so I see you guys. I see James. Thank you too. Lillian, thank you. Ibukun, thank you very much. Oh, I said you want to resend the video on user research. Okay, yes, yes, yes. That is it. I said I was going to send resend the video. Okay, send video on user research. So very much. Thank you very much, people. See you guys next week. See you guys in time. Please do not join late. Tochi, thanks so much. Please, how can we be part of sending our research work and questions out of class? If you're not a part of my mailing list, um, please go ahead and fill this form. I think let me just drop the link here. Just a moment. Let me send the link. Okay, so fill this form is a very, 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 very short form. You can literally fill it within a few seconds. In a few seconds. So fill this form. For those that are on the other platforms that can't see my message, I've put it on the screen. Is bit.ly/design with Grace Ade. So just fill the form, very short form, and then you once you get added to the mailing list, you will start receiving emails, and then you can be able to send your response to that email. But if you want to send an email directly, you can just send it to this one, command design.africa@gmail.com. So there it is, and see you guys next week. Thank you for attending, and see you guys. Bye.